it says, under your profile, it says go to Basecamp. It should have our club name here, and it has a go button. Click here, click go, and it will take you to this screen. This is the Pathways Basecamp start page. You'll see there are several buttons here, and I'll go over them briefly. The first is navigating Basecamp. It has a lot of videos and tutorials and FAQs in case you get stuck in how to go about things in the system. And so there are quite a few good resources. There's several different things that you can do, such as working in your education transcript. And once you click into one of those, you hit launch, and it will launch either a training module or a PDF that discusses everything. This one I will come back to is your education transcript is your main source in Pathways, so I'll get back to that here in a second. The My Feedback and My Badges functions are things that we have not used much in our club, but they are available. The My Feedback section actually allows you to request feedback on any of your projects from any member or all members of the club. So if you have an evaluator, if your evaluator doesn't have the sheet in front of them, you can actually ask them to send you their evaluation in the system itself, instead of giving you a paper copy of your evaluation form.
Question, so it's emailed to you?
So it's all in the system, but you should, once you get the request, it should be emailed to you at the
It
email.
will be in the system.
It should, yeah.
Yeah.
But everything is kept in the system itself with this. So it actually is an easy way to keep track of all your evaluations in one place if you use this. And you can request from certain people, I would like feedback from, and you type in somebody's name, or you can, and then you can see whether everyone or just managers see your request. Additionally, there is the My Badges portion, which,
And who counts as managers in this system?
So managers in the system is the Vice President of Education, which is Phil, the President, which is Brian, and the Secretary, which is Bunny.
Thank you.
So all three of them have access to all the internals of the system to show everyone's progress, and any of them can actually approve any of your requests for completion, which I'll get to here in a second. As I said, My Badges has all of the achievements that you've completed. People can actually send you badges, and I'll go into that here in a bit, for exceptional things that they thought you did. And then finally, there's speech evaluations that actually has a lot of resources for evaluations, and actually the resources for each project that you're in. So if you forgot your evaluation form, as I did, you can actually just quickly go into one of these and pull it up. So that is the main screen. Now you'll see the My Education Transcript and the My Education Transcript. This box is basically a smaller version of what you get when you click on this button, okay? So it's actually easier to just go to My Education Transcript here, select your path, whatever your path is, mine is Persuasive Influence, and click Open Curriculum, okay? And when you do that, it pulls up your curriculum, okay? There is also a button, somehow I've gotten trapped in this many times. There's a View Training Details button that is a very poorly designed user interface that you can't really navigate at all, and it's just really confusing. I think it's basically the same information, it's just a different user interface. So if you ever find yourself on this screen, go under the path title and click Launch the Curriculum Player, and you'll actually get to a usable screen. I've been trapped on that many times, so I just wanted to point that out. This is where it shows you your progress in your path. So you can see I have completed level 3, and so I'm 50% of the way through my path. There are 5 levels to each path in Pathways. The first always starts out with the same projects regardless of what path you're in. So you will always start out with an icebreaker speech, which is a 4 to 6 minute presentation talking about yourself and introducing yourself to the club. The next is an evaluation and feedback project, which is giving a new original speech that you write, which is 5 to 7 minutes. Then listening to the evaluation you get from that speech, giving the speech again a second time, taking into account all the feedback that you got, and then finally evaluating somebody else. So that's all one project for this. And then finally the researching and presenting is the final project in level 1, which is a 5 to 7 minute research speech. So regardless of which path you're in, you will be doing these projects to start out with. Once you get to level 2, it kind of starts to branch out based on what path you got.
So can you, for lack of a better term, do a double dipping? Can, like the speech that you want to give that you're going to give again, can that be a research speech? So, and then you give that speech, I mean, it's a research speech, and then you give it again based on your feedback. And so could that count as 2, you know?
No, I think they have to be separate speeches.
Good try.
Yeah.
So one level is one speech, or 2 speeches together, so I'm trying to understand.
Well, so just for this project. So actually, let's just open up the evaluation and feedback speech because project, so we can take a look at it. So I'll go to my level 5 because I haven't started this yet. So when you start a project that you have not already done, there's an activate button. If you click that button, it will turn into a launch button, okay? So you click launch, and you may have to adjust your browser settings for your pop-up blockers to make sure it actually does launch, but it will come up eventually. So it will come up with the navigation button, and this tells you how you're going to advance. You click on these side buttons to advance or return pages. There's also a quick guide where you can jump to any section in it. So each project gives you the introduction of what what the project is supposed to be, and it gives you kind of the basics of what you'll be doing. For each of these, there is a project checklist and an overview. So the overview for the evaluation is choose any topic for your first 5 to 7 minute speech. After your speech, carefully review feedback. At a future meeting, present the 5 to 7 minute speech in which you incorporate the feedback from your initial speech. Or you can do either that speech or a new speech. It's just easier to do your old speech and use the evaluation feedback you got. Just give it again. Don't make things more complicated than they need to be. And then you should serve as a evaluator for somebody else. So that there is also a project checklist that lets you see exactly what you need to do. It tells you what the project includes, and it gives you a checklist for how to complete it. So it says schedule your speech with the VPE, write your speech, rehearse it, and present it. Fairly straightforward things to do. And exactly what you need to do to give your second speech, etc. Okay. So then the next streams are an assessment of your skills. In each presentation, in each project, you assess your skills both before and after you give your presentation. So here, you assess your skills, hit through the next buttons to say, here's where I'm at before I start the project. And this gives you a screen of the competencies that you'll learn, and then the main feedback, the main parts of the project and what it's supposed to teach you. And sometimes there are projects and things that you click through. Sometimes there's videos that help teach you the things that you need to know. We're all kind of familiar with this. It's very similar to some of the trainings that EPA does that you're required to do here. So I'll continue to click through. As I said, there are videos and multimedia things that you can go through. I won't bore you with all the details of the video. On this one, there's a lot of them because it's a lot of speeches. So there's a complete your assignment screen, and it tells you exactly what you need to do to complete the assignment. Now, all of this happens before you complete your speech. And once you click then to the next screen, your evaluation. Until you give your speech, stop here. Do not go further. Okay? This gives you the resources for your speech. It gives you the evaluations that you will give to your evaluator. It will give you everything that you need, including a print my project. So this pulls up a PDF of the entire thing in printed form. So if you actually want to print out the entire project and work on it like the manual, you actually can from this screen. And so again, don't pay for the $25 fee. You can print it out a lot cheaper than that. So you will stop here until you have given your presentation and have finished your project. And once you have done that, then you will go on to the next screen to assess your skills a second time. And once you do that, it will give you, basically, have you improved at all because of the project? And I didn't have much change here because I'm an experienced Toastmaster, but hopefully for the newer members, there is more of a disconnect between where you were before and kind of where you progressed after that. And then you'll just click here to the congratulations screen, and you can just exit out of it. And that